Get ready with me and let's talk about how I became a stylist. I'm not sure if many of you know, but I actually graduated from university with a degree in psychology and counselling. So how the heck did I get into fashion styling? I have always been a fashion girly. So one of my first jobs was actually in Topshop. And in Topshop, every now and then they would let me dabble in merchandising. So this was like moving around the shop floor, making sure that everything was kind of styled really great. I've always had a flair for fashion, so they saw that in the outfits that I would wear, and they really took initiative and let me just help around with the store. After a few years, I then moved to Gap. At Gap, my manager really took a shining to me with my attention to detail. If you've ever worked in Gap, they are a stickler for perfection. The finer details, folding has to be perfect. And with that, she then allowed me to start shadowing the visual merchandiser in the store. And then I started doing kids wear. Then from kids wear, this is where it started to get really, really good. I remember our visual merchandiser had time off and we had a window deadline. No one else in store was confident enough to do it. And of course, Erica jumped at the opportunity and I was like, I will do it. So there I completed my first ever full visual merchandising window by myself for Gap. And from that moment, my manager completely trusted me and I had the unofficial role as assistant visual merchandiser. But I was doing the role and all of the work that came with it, but they wouldn't give me the position. So I moved to another store, which was a concession. This was inside House of Fraser. With complete control, I was knocking it out of the park. And because it was House of Fraser, we were able to be a little bit more creative. So I was going to town with the shop floor, with the window, and it started turning heads. Sure enough, the visual merchandising manager for House of Fraser started to stop by at the shop, started to stop by at our concession, have a little chat with me, ask me how I'm doing, and say, oh, you know, we're looking for a visual merchandiser. Long story short, I was hired. I was doing home in House of Fraser. I was doing the home window and shop floors. This gave me complete creative control, which I was absolutely obsessed with. I wanted to be in fashion. So I did what I always done. I knocked it out of the park. And funnily enough, my manager felt it was too much. But when we would get visits, the area manager was obsessed with what I was doing. And as a result, I had free reign to do fashion windows. Now, this was the era of when blogging started. I decided to start posting my visual merchandising looks just to show how I, as a fashion enthusiast, was styling high street fashion. I was obsessed with fashion magazines and I then began to do my research. One lady I discovered was a black celebrity stylist who was huge in UK. She was doing some amazing people, but she also was the PR of River Island at that time. Her name was Arietta Mouget. If you know my story, you know where she is in my heart. I don't know if you guys remember, this is really showing my age, but Company Magazine used to do a casting call where it will allow its readers to become their models. I applied. Lo and behold, on that shoot, guess who I meet? Arietta. I was a finalist in the magazine competition. I was on the main shoot and the main day out with the magazine, which did get published, but I didn't become a winner. And, you know, Arietta was really, really supportive towards me. She said, look, like, this modeling thing, it's not the one, but you've got talent. And she took me under her wing. From then, I kept contact with Arietta. Every morning, I would say good morning to her. I genuinely like aspired to have a role similar to hers. I felt like what she was doing was amazing, and I feel like the representation of her in the space that she was it's just so important for girls, black girls like me, to have people in higher positions really doing the work. And then also like reaching out and just being supportive. So I got the opportunity to actually intern with her, testing with models, just so that I can have some professional shots in my book. And then she also allowed me to intern with her at River Island. So I had the opportunity of knowing what it was like to send out emails, to process clothing, and to really have contact with people in the industry. Just saying this back, like, she's an angel. It was at that point I was just like, I'm getting so many amazing opportunities now with interning with Arietta. What do I do? It was at that point when I decided that this is something that I really wanted to pursue. And thank God I have such a supportive mum. I done a lot of saving, but before I quit my job, I decided that I wanted to study. I studied at London College of Fashion, and I wanted to do more of a deeper dive into what it was that I would expect if I took on a fashion stylist role. And there I learned about PRs, I learned about fashion, I learned about seasons, I learned about trends, all of that sort of important stuff. And also even like what we should look out for during fashion week, just really kind of the basics. I would say after that, I really felt ready. And I think Arietta felt I was as well. And that's when she recommended me to my next internship. And that was with a celebrity stylist. If I'm going to be honest, this role was similar to Devil Wears Prada. My first projects was with two notable celebrities at the time, and I was entering rooms that I had never entered before. There definitely was a lot of hard times, moments that I was crying, and of course my mum was just like, why are you putting yourself through this? Like, you're unhappy, quit, get a job. There was a lot of people around me that just couldn't understand why I was literally working myself to the bone. But I really just knew what I wanted, and I just kept going for it. And I went on to intern with so many other amazing stylists over the years. And to be honest, when I found my feet, the rest was history. I done amazing jobs, amazing campaigns. It was so nice to even be recognized in the industry. I won an award for being a stylist, and it just really went upwards from there. I truly regret nothing. I have found a new love for commercial styling. I do love the element of that myself. If you didn't know, I have since been teaching stylists how to get into the industry, and kind of just taking the mistakes that I made over the years and helping other stylists so that they're prepared for when they kind of come into similar situations. You could check that out on my YouTube, and that is in the link in my bio. I find that helping people and allowing them to kind of just be their best self has always been a core passion of mine, and I find it super rewarding. Ooh, new lip combo unlocked. So I'm just hoping that this helps you get to know me a little bit more. Now it's time to get dressed, and I'll see you soon.